All right, we're just hours away right now from this very historic meeting. Pretty amazing, right? You think about this groundbreaking summit. Who would have thought back when he was calling him, dare I say, Little Rocket Man, that we'd now be looking at a summit in Singapore? We all know the main objective here. The goal is denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, remove that threat from the world. But what if, and I say this with just what if, hear us out here, what if this president actually has something bigger in mind? My next guest thinks there's a whole lot more to this than just denuclearization, and he's none other than Mr. Gordon Chang, author of Nuclear Showdown. Good to have you here, sir, and an expert on all things China. What do you think's really going on?
Well, there are a couple things. You know, of course, we would like a North Korea without its nukes and its missiles. But there's a bigger issue here, and that is China. Because even if North Korea...
Okay, I'm going to cut to the chase because, you know what, I did the viewer a little bit of a disservice. That's what you call a little tease. I was lining it up. What is it that President Trump might be doing? And according to your latest piece, you think he might be bringing in North Korea basically to, you know, stick it to the Chinese, but also to once again create some space for us, shall we say, over in that part of the region that would be more of a problem for the Chinese than they want.
When you look at what the president is doing, there is a case that what he's really got in mind is not taking away the weapons from Kim, but actually to take North Korea away from China. North Korea is China's only military partner. And that's important because what we'd be doing is undermining the Chinese narrative that they control their neighborhood, they're the world's next great power, we're in terminal decline, we can't do anything, all the rest of it. And so when you look at what President Trump has been saying, you know, he's sort of gone a little bit soft on denuclearization, but he's gone really big on relationships with North Korea. And if you think China is the real threat, and I think it is because it's so much more dangerous to the U.S. than even a nuked up North Korea, then this actually makes very good policy. This is like taking China away from the Soviet Union in the Cold War. Nixon got a lot of credit for it. Trump may get a lot of credit for taking North Korea away from China.
Now, why do you think that's the ultimate goal?
Well, if Trump really wanted to take the nukes away, he would be, I think, a lot tougher on the North Koreans right now. So, for instance, we've got this summit coming up. It's a big prize for Kim Jong-un. It's legitimization.
Yes.
We're not getting anything in return. We're not getting a firm commitment from the North Koreans to give up their weapons. If, you know, Trump is the master negotiator. He knows that...
But don't you have to decide that at the actual summit, right? I mean, don't you actually have to allow for something to be negotiated at the event?
Well, there was a lot of negotiations before the event, and a lot of people in Washington were saying that before they would have the summit, we would get those firm commitments directly from Kim Jong-un to give up his weapons. We haven't insisted on that. And that really raises the question, what is Washington really doing here? I think, of course...
You think that's smart, by the way? Is that exactly what we need? Because China, by the way, is the ultimate biggest threat here. I mean, the size of their economy, the number of people they have, the sophistication of their technology, and all the spying that has gone on with that, including stealing of intellectual property, they are a massive threat.
Yeah, they're the threat. And we got to be much more concerned about them than North Korea. North Korea is the pawn. It's like Iran. Yeah, Iran's dangerous. North Korea is dangerous. It would be better if we took away their weapons. But it's more important that we defang the Chinese. And one of the ways to do that is what President Trump, I think, is trying to do right now. Of course, he's trying to take away their nukes, but he's also trying to build this long-term relationship with Kim Jong-un. He's invited, you know, he's talking about inviting him to the White House. Yeah. He's talking about these diplomatic relations.
Okay, I get all that, but is Kim Jong-un trying to play both sides of the fence here? I mean, sure. He's courting the Chinese while simultaneously courting us.
Yeah, well, Kim's two trips to China at the end of March and the beginning of last month, I think the Chinese were summoning him. Now, of course, Kim wants good relations with China as a counterweight to the U.S. He wants good relations with Moscow. He wants good relations with Syria. But the point is, the more important thing for him is to have good relations with Washington, because unlike the Chinese, we have no territorial ambitions on the Korean Peninsula. We are so far away that we are the counterweight. We're the ones who can protect North Korea. The Chinese and the Koreans have been fighting each other for about two millennia.
Gordon, I'm glad you articulated all this so well and wrote about it so well, because it's actually something that I've hypothesized about a little bit here, especially as we enter some of these trade negotiations with China. The idea that, gosh, the Chinese must be sweating bullets, that suddenly we might be friends with North Korea. I mean, that doesn't sit well, I can imagine, with so many of them. So that may give us also some extra leverage when it comes to some of the trade stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, ever since March 8th, when President Trump accepted the direct offer of talks, China has been really concerned that it's left outside of the room. In the six-party talks, 2003, 2009, they were the center of it. George W. Bush put the Chinese at the center of the international community's efforts to disarm North Korea. What President Trump has done is he said, look, the Chinese were a malign influence then. We're going to do this by ourselves. We're going to do it without Beijing. And Beijing has actually been sanctions busting recently in order to prevent a good summit with North Korea.
Why did they ever sign on to the sanctions in the first place?
Well, because they were forced to. They didn't want to, but nonetheless, they figured they had no choice. And so this is something where, you know, China's been really reluctant. And especially the last 3 months, their sanctions enforcement has markedly deteriorated.
Wow.
So
well, it's all very, very fascinating. Yes, and they may, you know, they may not have much to say about it in the end, because if I'm Kim Jong-un, I'd rather be friends with the United States of America any day of the week. Gordon Chang, thank you so much.